the Middle East in wake of the Hezbollah and Israel crisis, where the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has addressed the public. He has led the Friday press today for the first time in nearly 5 years. He has honored Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, who died in the Israeli strikes 3 days ago. Thousands of people have gathered to hear Khamenei's speech, and in his speech he has issued a warning to Israel and said that Iran will attack Israel again if needed. Brian on the telecast with me. Brian, for the first time in 5 years, there has been a prayer meeting that has been initiated, and it is the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei who has participated in, and a stern warning being given to Israel that there is going to be an attack by Iran on Israel if needed.
In 5 years, for the first time now, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in a very rare Friday sermon, pledged to defeat the country's enemies and expressed strong support for Palestinian and Lebanese movements against Israel. And speaking to thousands of supporters who were gathered at a central Tehran mosque, Khamenei described the October 7 attacks as a rightful action. He goes on to say that, and rather he declared that no international law has the authority to object or protest against the Lebanese and Palestinians defending themselves against occupation. And in his sermon also, Khamenei also defended Iran's recent missile strike on Israel, calling it legal and legitimate as well, and stated that the operation by his armed forces a few nights ago was completely justified and lawful. And he goes on, he even says that the enemy of Iran is the enemy of Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt, Iran and Yemen, and says that they must tie the belt of defense and independence in all Islamic countries from Afghanistan to Yemen as well. And also, he goes on to say that he felt necessary also to pay tribute to his brother Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah. Yes, Megha.
Right, absolutely. Stay on with me. Joining me also on the telecast is Group Captain Veanja. Let's hear it from you, Group Captain Veanja. In wake of this conflict that continues to escalate, the Middle East is on the brink, and particularly with regards to the remarks that have come in from Ayatollah Khamenei, warning Israel of potential attacks.
Very good afternoon, Megha. It's very unfortunate that Iran is trying to escalate the entire scenario, what is happening in the Middle East. What actually happened by Israel, that was in retaliation for the inhuman behavior what Hamas had shown on the soil of Israel. So Israel had all authority to retaliate, to take action, and that is what it is. However, all of us, we also know that when, can you hear me? However, all of us, we knew that when Israel has been attacking Hamas, there was also another agency, the Hezbollah, and Hezbollah also has been firing many rockets onto the Israel. So these actions of Israel, what we see, whether it is in the southern Lebanon or on the Hamas in Gaza, is well justified. But then when Iran had jumped into it, they had no business to jump into it. And that too, Iran had jumped in a big way.
Right, absolutely. But the fact that there was a proxy war that had been playing out for several weeks together, first Hamas, then you saw Hezbollah, and after that the Houthi attacks that have also been taking place, the seven-front war has primarily been orchestrated by Iran.
Absolutely. So that's what I was saying, that Iran had no business to put their foot into it, put their nose into it. But now, once they have put their nose into it, they have attacked Israel with 181 ballistic and cruise missiles. They have to bear the consequences of it. And Netanyahu, in no uncertain terms, has already said at the UNGA itself that Israel will not accept two things. One, the terrorists being in the vicinity of Israel. He was referring to Hamas and Hezbollah. And secondly, a nuclear Iran. Now this second particular part, that Israel will not tolerate nuclear Iran, also puts a doubt that the retaliation what is going to come from Israel side onto the Iranian territory could also take the nuclear installations of Iran into the force of the attack, what will happen. So the entire world right now is keeping their fingers crossed. We must know that this attack onto the nuclear installation is not the nuclear attack. Nuclear attack is by atom bomb or hydrogen bomb or any other fissile material or fusion material. But this attack will be on the instruments, equipment of Iran, which is used in the processing of uranium to process into a weapon grade uranium or otherwise. So I feel that an attack will be there, that all of us we are determined. When it happens, that no one can predict right now, only the top brasses of Israel will know. But Khamenei must be sleeping sleepless nights for last that many days, because this attack will be there, and let them remember that this attack will be a horrible attack.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. Stay on with me, Group Captain Vienja, because we're getting, let's also put out what Ayatollah Khamenei has exactly shared in the message to the Arabs, to the Muslims of the world, and particularly in the Middle East. He said that Muslims should be united at this point of time, and the enemy of Iran is the enemy of Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt, Iraq and Yemen.
What is happening is the Muslim world right now is not united. There are various blocs. Now, Saudi Arabia is with US, UAE, Qatar, they are also with US. As far as Egypt and Jordan is concerned, they have got direct agreement, bilateral agreement with Israel that they will not attack each other. So, entire Islamic nations, 47 of them, are right now divided into blocs, and some of them are not in position to go into the war, another war. So that is out. What Khamenei has requested entire Muslim world. There is nothing called Muslim world. Today, Muslim world is divided into Shias, Sunnis, and blah blah and blah blah. All of them, there are 43 out of them. So all those blocks are there. They are all fractured. There is no Muslim world right now. So let's see how it unfolds. But anyway, Khamenei has come into public after a long time. He had to say something, so he has said something. What consequences he has to bear, that time only will know.
Right, absolutely. Brian, also on the telecast with me. Brian, a statement, could we just say that it is a little more cautious than what would have been expected of Ayatollah Khamenei to come out and in his sermon speak to the Muslims, particularly in these states, in these countries that he has mentioned, which includes Iran, Iraq, Syria. He's also spoken about Egypt, and he said that these countries need to come together in unity against Israel, and he said that Israel will be struck by Iran if needed.
Also, which he said it in a sermon also, he stresses Muslim unity as he addresses worshippers at the Tehran Friday prayers. He says, and he terms it as the fact that the enemy is working everywhere with a special method, but the command room is the same as they take orders from there. So this is what he is going on to say. And he even saying that helping the Palestinians is legitimate and no one has the right to even protest. And he even says that their armed forces did was the least punishment for the crime of the Zionist regime, and says that every nation has the right to defend its country and territory also against any aggressor as well, and if needed in the future, he says that they will again strike and they will again, and also goes on to say that he even paid tribute to his brother Hassan Nasrallah as well. And now he even said that the enemy of Iran is the enemy of Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt, Iran and Yemen as well. Nida.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Brian, for giving us those updates. Brian, in fact, stay with us. We were getting to know that amidst the ongoing tensions in the Middle East, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has landed in Lebanon's capital, Beirut. This is the first meeting by a top Iranian official since the Israeli strike that killed the Hezbollah top commander Nasrallah in Beirut. Brian on the telecast with me. Brian, another big development, Iranian Foreign Minister has also arrived in Beirut.
Yes, Megha, definitely. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi reportedly arrived in Beirut amid this very escalating Israeli airstrike and even a ground offensive against Hezbollah. Now, even it was confirmed that an Iranian plane has landed at Rafiq Hariri International Airport carrying Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. And this visit also, Megha, becomes very important because it marks the first by a senior Iranian official also since an Israeli airstrike last week in Beirut, which even claimed Nasrallah as well, and even a high-ranking Iranian general. And despite the ongoing Israeli attacks also, Foreign Minister made even unannounced visit to the Lebanese capital, and even it was also reported that the plane touched down at Rafiq Hariri International Airport, symbolizing Iran's first high-level diplomatic engagement in Lebanon since Nasrallah's assassination. And even in a statement also that was shared on X, Iran's foreign minister spokesperson also announced that they have landed at Beirut International Airport, and their delegation, which is led by Iranian foreign minister and accompanied by 2 MPs also and the head of Red Crescent Society, will meet top Lebanese officials. And the spokesperson added that even shipment of 10 tons of food and medicine would also be delivered as part of Iran's humanitarian aid to Lebanon.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.